Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. This is Prince J, and today I wanted to share my top games I'm looking forward to in 2026. Let's take off. Coming in at number 1 is Gen Design's Project Robot. This is the latest game from director Fumito Ueda and his team at Gen Design, formerly known as Team Ico. This is a project I've been following for a long time. It's been almost 10 years since we received The Last Guardian, and before that it was 13 years since we had been graced with the classic action-adventure Shadow of the Colossus, or Wanda Tokyozu, meaning Wander and the Colossus in its native Japanese. Not much is known about this project. Everything from early concept art to apparent screenshots of early versions of the game have been leaked and purposely posted online. One thing was clear: it would somehow be science fiction related, featuring what appeared to be a large mech or giant robot in several instances. The Game Awards trailer revealed a few larger details, such as a clearer view of what seems to be the player character and the aforementioned giant robot. English dialogue can also be heard for the first time in any of Gen Design or Team Ico's previous games. However, there still lies a hint of mysticism with some of the patterns on display, evoking a similar art style as the same team's previous titles. This game looks as gorgeous as expected, and I'm excited to know what new world Ueda and the extraordinary members of Gen Design will introduce to us. This will also be the first title that the team has worked on that will be published by Epic Games, instead of involving their previous first-party partnership with Sony. No release date has been announced as of yet. We can only hope 2026 will once again give birth to one of the finest experiences in gaming yet again. Next up is Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei Remake from Polish developers Megapixel Studio SA. I've been a big Panzer Dragoon fan ever since I got to play one all the way through with Panzer Dragoon Orta on the original Xbox. I'd had a few experiences with the two originals on Saturn, mostly on in-store kiosk where I'd play them in increments, almost a bit like an arcade experience when I reflect upon it. The art of the desolate yet beautiful world and its architecture are burned into my memories, and I still haven't quite seen anything like it outside of its obvious influences from Doom, Star Wars, and French artist Mobius. I find myself playing the remake of the original Panzer Dragoon on my Nintendo Switch fairly regularly when I'm itching for a few moments of gameplay back in that world. Though I found the art style and overall feel of the game to be a bit lacking compared to the impact of the original Sega Saturn version. I'm proud to have it in my repertoire of experiences nonetheless. Now, we're upon the dawn of the first sequel, Panzer Dragoon Zwei's remake. So far, only the first episode has been put on full display via Forever Entertainment's 2025 Tokyo Game Show demo. I think the game looks pretty good, but some of the animations for the Dragon Lagi and the overall slow speed of some of the game's more intense moments have me wanting a bit more from this remake. One of my complaints about the 2020 remake for the first game was that the sky never felt like it was really a focal point for the camera. In the original, due to hardware limitations, the sky was portrayed as a vast cloud-filled expanse that took up more space on the screen than your player dragon until some architecture of the Forgotten World was revealed and a bit of pop-in. This actually gave me a greater sense of flight and the game an overall sense of epic scale, even though it was more or less a bit of a mask for the game's limitations. The remakes of both the original and Zwei, in contrast, have so much brightness filling the screen that it feels crowded and unnecessarily pretty, for a world that is supposed to have been completely ravaged by a war of the distant past. I'm not saying that there should be no beauty in these games, but nothing in them really stands out apart from the familiar shapes put in place by the original character designer Manabu Kusunogi. In 2025 and beyond, I've hoped that the series could surpass the Xbox's Panzer Dragoon Orta visually far past this time. However, though passable, the overall art has been reduced to a rather generic sci-fi look and feel, even with Kusunogi's original art designs mostly intact. I'm hoping that by the time it releases, possibly next year, that there will have been some major improvements. But I'm not holding my breath either. The 4 original Panzer Dragoon games have all been recognized for pushing whatever hardware they were on to its limits. So I'm hoping in the future that either a brand new game by a new team or the impending Panzer Dragoon Saga remake are handled with much greater care to their visuals. Still, Panzer Dragoon Zwei is one of the most touching and exhilarating games on any console, and it would take effort for it to not be good at all. Next, in a bit of a compilation, we have remakes of both Ecco the Dolphin and Ecco the Tides of Time from their original creator, Ed Annunziata. Ecco the Dolphin is quite a fascinating story involving extraterrestrials, time travel, and ancient lost civilizations. I still marvel at the beauty of Ecco Defender of the Future on Sega Dreamcast, even though Annunziata had moved on to newer ventures, leaving behind his creation with developer Appaloosa Interactive and Sega. There was even a canceled sequel in development called Ecco 2, Sentinels of the Universe. But after over 25 years, Ed Annunziata has returned. And not only is he bringing remakes of the first two games, but he's also working on a brand new installment for next-gen consoles with his original team. There's even a fresh website already up with some beautiful tunes for you to enjoy. Go check out www.eccothedolphin.com. I was really happy and excited to see the announcement of these three games from Ed himself. He's an interesting creator who makes good games outside of the norm, and the game space is all the richer for having him in it. He was apparently also working on a new game unrelated to Ecco called Dolphin Quest for the canceled Intellivision Amico console. It looks similar to Ecco and was a beautiful 2.5D underwater adventure game, but he hasn't spoken about it since everything with Amica fell through. Hard. No release date's been announced for any of the new Ecco games, nor aspiring platforms. But you can bet I'll be there to support one of my all-time favorite characters and developers. Rolling in hot next, we've got Tokyo Extreme Racer, the long-awaited revival from the developers at Genki. This latest entry in the series has been exclusively on PC via Steam for a while now. I had my first experience with Tokyo Extreme Racer on a Dreamcast Magazine demo disc. I wasn't a racing fan at all as a kid, and didn't even really enjoy Mario Kart until after I experienced this game. Heavily modifiable Japanese cars where the races play out with a life bar like in a fighting game? Sign me up. It was also one of the first times I saw reflections on an in-game vehicle. It was beautiful to look at, even though all the races took place at night. Weaving in and out of traffic while a tense audio tune plays as the beeping of you and your opponent's life bars dwindle back and forth. It was an experience I had never before in a racing game. It was so cool and unheard of at the time to me. Eventually, I'd go on to play most of Genki's other racing games, including their original arcade title, Wangan Midnight, based on the popular street racing manga by Michiharu Kusunoki. Genki's always been a standout with their racing titles, and I'm happy to find out that Tokyo Extreme Racer will finally be dropping on console via the PS5 at a yet-to-be-determined time. Now, let's take a little trip to the underworld with Sega's latest RGG studio title, Stranger Than Heaven. Few details have been revealed about this game. What I can say is that it is a full current-gen title, meaning a Switch and PS4 release might be off the table. The graphics are absolutely gorgeous, and they seem to push the PC graphics card along with the hardware behind the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. The time period is at least partially during the 1910s to the mid-1940s in Japan, and your player character is a blue-eyed Japanese man who goes by Makos Daito, with connections to the criminal underworld. This is somewhat in the vein of Ryuga Gotoku Studios' Like a Dragon or Yakuza series, with the player navigating the shady landscape of Tokyo's organized crime, albeit in modern times from the 1980s to the present year. Man, this game looks so epic and just oozes coolness. The enemy characters and NPCs look the most realistic in terms of the movements and animation than I've seen in any previous RGG game. I wonder how much ground we'll be able to cover in this game. Pre- and post-World War II Tokyo look amazing and are densely packed with buildings and non-player characters running their routines, bringing life to the city experience. No release date has been announced for Stranger Than Heaven, but it can't arrive soon enough. Rising once again from the ashes in the untitled sequel to Okami. Okami is one of my favorite PS2 games of all time. The silly voices, the beautiful sumie or black ink wash painted artwork, the mythology are all top notch and still stand strong in an ocean of games with mediocre visuals. Hideki Kamiya, director of Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, and Bayonetta, returns to lead the new installment. Not much information is out there about this one either, But what was shown last year in 2024 was evocative of the original teaser trailer for the first Okami, while showing some impressive updated visuals and the return of player character and sun goddess incarnate as a wolf, Amaterasu. No release date has been set for the as of yet entitled Okami sequel, but let them take their time. Next is a game that no doubt is going to take over the world when it's released on May 26th, 2026, next year. Developer Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 6 is upon us. After leaks, hacks, and tweaks over the past couple of years, the hype for GTA 6 is set to hit its peak starting next year. Taking from the best of the series so far, we'll be entering the shoes of outlaw duo Lucia Camino and Jason Duval while visiting Vice City in extraordinary detail. What can I say about GTA 6 that hasn't already been said? We seem to have the weightlifting and bodybuilding mechanics back from San Andreas, which I'm stoked for. There also seems to be a dating system between the two player characters where you can frequent different locations together, wine and dine out, or be on the couch and just chill together. Social media seems to be incorporated fully into the series narrative from its somewhat minuscule features in GTA 5. Finer details are still under wraps, but I'm betting my money on GTA 6 being an incredible installment and one of the greatest video game series in the world. Last for now, but absolutely at the peak of my anticipation for upcoming titles, is the brand new Virtua Fighter. Wow. Virtua Fighter was the first 3D game I ever saw. Walking into my local Tilt and seeing the blue and yellow letters adorning a cabinet in the back corner, I was drawn to it immediately. In an era where fighting games were synonymous with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter more than stood out. Now, having gotten a glimpse of its official 6th installment over the past year, whilst also enjoying Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, has been a treat. I remember playing the arcade version of Virtua Fighter 5 at E3 for the first time back in 2006. So it's been a long time coming. The series has never failed to amaze me, and the latest installments being spearheaded by Ryuga Gotoku Studios strengthens my faith in this one, pushing boundaries further than ever before. Thank you for watching. If you share my enthusiasm for any of these titles, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if there's a title you think I should take a look at, let me know. So until next time, this is Prince J, signing out.